Welcome to a New Beginning podcast. I'm your host, Maureen Doyle. I'm a certified life coach, author, and coffee enthusiast. Did you know that at any moment you can create a new beginning in your health, relationships, career, or mindset? Each week, I will share simple strategies to transform your life and create new beginnings. Ready to start yours? Let's dive in. Hey everyone, how is everyone doing? We are just finishing up the Thanksgiving holiday, and both of my adult daughters were in town, and we had so much fun. We had so much fun with good food and cooking. We all love to get into the kitchen and cook together and listen to music and go out dancing and laughing, all the good stuff. But then they got on airplanes and they are back to their life, and I am back here. And I hope all of you had a good break, a good Thanksgiving. So today's topic is something that we all know very well, and that is fear. Most of the fear we experience on a day-to-day basis is not useful. It pretends to be useful, but it's actually just an unmanaged mind. This isn't the fear that protects us from walking off a cliff or going down a dark alley alone. This isn't the fear that keeps us alive, the intuition that whispers, hey, get out of here. You know, there's a great book out there called The Gift of Fear by Gavin DeBecker, and I highly recommend it, especially for those going off to college. I always like to give it to teenagers when they graduate from high school, and it's the first time they're going to be leaving home. But getting back to that type of fear is actually a gift. And it has saved human beings forever. But today, I'm talking about something completely different. Today, I'm talking about irrational fear. The fear that stops you from taking action. The fear that feels real, but it's actually just a thought. It's the fear that shows up when you want to have a difficult conversation or go on an interview or accept an invitation to an event or meet new people or try something new or just putting yourself out there. And instead of moving forward, we freeze. We cuddle up with our fear and we make it bigger than it needs to be. But here's the truth. Fear is not a valid excuse to not do your work, whatever that is, in the world. I want to remind you of something that I talk about all the time, that our thoughts create our feelings. Remember, it goes like this. I think, I feel, I do, and I am. Our thoughts create our feelings. Fear comes from a thought, and most of our thoughts around fear are totally irrational. Think about a fear you've had, maybe around a conversation that you've been avoiding. Your mind creates this dramatic, elaborate scenario. You work yourself up. You feel the fear. You avoid the conversation. And then, when you finally do have it, it's usually not a big deal at all. That's why we have to stop accepting fear as truth. Take action while acknowledging the fear. This is one of the most powerful skills you can ever develop. Let's use a universal example, public speaking. Most of us are terrified of it, but why? It goes all the way back to our tribal days. If you weren't accepted by the group, you would literally die. And your brain still thinks that standing in front of people is a threat. But today, you're not going to die. You might feel uncomfortable, but you're going to be fine. We're not afraid of the speaking itself. We're afraid of the feeling of being humiliated, or the feeling of being judged, or even just being seen. And once you start taking action anyways, you build evidence that your fears were wrong. Most of us think we're feeling fear, but actually, we're just avoiding fear. We tense up, our heart rate increases. Big deal. Those sensations mean nothing about your ability to act. And instead of allowing the fear, quite often we buffer. We might eat or drink or just distract ourselves or scroll. Instead, sit with the fear. Let it run through you. So I have an exercise for you. Sit down and write out every fear you have. Fill the page. Some of the fears might be running out of money, being alone, becoming obese, getting sick, not being liked, sounding stupid. What you will see is that all of these are just thoughts, and many of them are illogical. But some of them, maybe like not wanting to scuba dive, that's perfectly fine. That could be a fear, scuba diving, but that one is not holding you back. The fears that we do need to examine are the ones that are robbing you of your presence and your energy. Worrying about running out of money, fear of being alone, fear of making the wrong decision. Those fears keep you playing small. They drain you of your limited energy. We only have a certain amount of energy each day. And do you really want your limited energy to be given away to your fears? They also stop you from taking action. But the first step in changing anything is awareness. Being an entrepreneur, I get a whole buffet of fears every single day. And here's what I can do. I can cuddle up with them, or I can take them along for the ride. But I put them in the back seat, not into the driver's seat. Think back to childhood. We had lots of fears. The fear of riding a bike, the fear of going to school, the fear of trying anything new. It was always there. But you did things anyways. So here's the truth. Fear is unnecessary in about 90% of your life. Think about it. But we act like it's essential. It's not. So don't run away from it. Walk towards it, expose it, and then do whatever it is. Do the thing anyways. Fear is not a big deal, and fear is nothing to be afraid of. Be afraid, my friends, and do it anyways. Have a beautiful week, and I will see you next week. If you enjoyed this podcast, check out my free workbook, 6 Secrets to Getting Anything That You Want. Head over to maureen-doyle.com/6secretsguide to pick up your free copy today.